Hello, everyone. I am finally back, everyone. Thank you so much for the patience and thank you so much for all the support. It's crazy, crazy overwhelming, positively overwhelming. How much you guys liked the series, how much you guys supported me, and how patient you've been as well. The beginning part of this tutorial is just a little explanation of everything and sort of a roadmap for this channel. You can skip. I'm gonna put a timestamp so you can skip and get started right on into the today's chapter. But here's some things that happened and why I've been kind of far away for a little bit. I had a couple of family things that came up that were very unfortunate, so it kind of made me not motivated at all to do these videos. This is sort of a hobby. I still have a job, a family, and everything. So yeah, I had a lot of things happen that made it super hard to focus on my hobbies, and I am finally getting back on it. Being very transparent with you all, it was very difficult, right, to make these videos, but that's gone. I was able to overcome some of those challenges there. The second thing, though, is I've been having a really hard time breaking down um, the series to make it easy for everyone to understand and as simple as possible. So, a little bit about me. My main goal, one of my life goals, is to be able to teach, right? I want to be a teacher. But in order to do that, um, I want to teach people that the goal of this channel was to teach people um, without any knowledge of programming. I like teaching beginners and making them understand concepts and getting them up to speed. And the other reason for that as well is that because I'm not an expert in Unity, it's something that I'm still kind of learning as well. I don't have a vast experience building games. I'm just a regular guy who really loves and is passionate about it. So because of that, I had a really hard time working on the battle system. So I finally have, I think, a good plan on how to do it in order to teach you guys. But I want to let you guys know that the series probably is going to go through the battle system and you're going to be able to do a battle, but it's not going to go into much more than that because I feel like I haven't built a really good foundation first. And to be honest, that's my main passion. So the series is going to go, I'm going to continue this. I'm going to be very short videos, very manageable videos that I can release every week. And then after that, I'm going to build the battle system. So you're going to have the true 2D RPG that you guys have been wanting for and looking forward to. And then after that, what I want to do is I want to kind of take a step back a little bit and I want to teach the very basic foundations. So I might have two series going on, maybe it's possible, but I'm gonna finish. I'm not gonna quit on this series. I'm gonna complete it. I'm gonna create the battle system, and you guys are gonna be able to do a battle. And to roam around and create your first things, and then I'll think about some ways that we can continue this learning. But then I have been also thinking about, hey, how can I teach absolute beginners the things that I learned in college, right? So like I have a degree in software engineering, which honestly I think you don't need it. I mean, it was good. It was a great experience, but I feel like there's a lot of knowledge that can be transferred without a 4-year degree. In the United States, it's very expensive and things like that. Which again, I'm not judging people that do. I went to college and it was good for me. I got great opportunities. But I think a lot of people, they just want the knowledge. They don't want the degree. And for those people, that's what this channel is about. I want to teach them, the basics of programming to create games, the basics of knowledge, the basics of computer science. So this gets me excited, like just transferring all of the opportunities and knowledge that I've received from, you know, teachers, from mentors, and things like that. And I'm going to be sharing them with you guys. So, yeah, I'm going to continue. Today's video is just another step towards the battle system. And then I'm going to keep going on this series. I'm going to finish the battle system. And then I'm thinking about a way to make it really simple. So, like, for the people that really don't know anything about programming, like zero experience, I want to teach them from the very basic foundations, right? Of variables, of, the language, the C# language, etc. So this is the intro. Again, I appreciate the patience and everything, and I look forward to continuing to, grow with you guys. All right, so we're back. uh, it was such a crazy month. So the thing is, when I lost all the data from my computer, and I had to kind of restart. I actually had to do the own series myself because I had to catch up on everything. It's been a crazy couple of months, guys. I can't even tell you how crazy it was. But here is basically the same foundation. I'm going to play the game. I still can walk around. I did the dialogue correctly here. And if I go and talk to this, I get a message right here. You will start a battle, right? So now we talked about in our last video, where am I? We talked about the battle system, right? And it was a planning session where we talked about, what do you want in your battle system? So the first step to do that is the battle encounters, right? So for instance, for the tutorial, I have this guy here who's going to be one of the people that will battle me, but similar to RPGs and similar to Pokemon, which is the greatest RPG, in my opinion. Again, guys, don't want to create some conflicts here. There are moments in Final Fantasy as well where if you walk on a certain tile, it's going to trigger a battle, right? Because we don't want to place, if you want to, you can, and we're going to have the ability to do that, but you don't want it to have just characters. Sometimes you want to walk around. It's typical to an RPG where you get those random battles so you can gain experience, gain items, gain money or whatever, and then you can progress through the game. So I'm going to teach you what we're going to do today. Let's pretend this is our world map, and let's add our player here, and let's make him a little bigger. There you go. So we have our player, and he's walking around and he's talking to people. So what we want to do is we want to create an area that is special, right? That we assign, where the player can come in and say, hey, whenever I step on it, I want to be in the battle zone. So we can assign, like, for instance, every time I'm walking around, it's random, but let's say there's a 10% or there's a 20% chance that I'm going to hit a battle while I'm walking in this special zone, right? So today the channel is we're going to code that, and then once we code it, we're going to move towards the database architecture for our actual battles and some of the visuals as well. So let's do it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a new tile map where we're going to store that, that area per se, where the user is going to have battle triggers. So we can click here on grid. We can create a 2D object. Let's create a new tile map. And we can call this the battle zone, right? So battle zone is created. We have our layers here. We want to edit that. We have our solid objects layers. We have our interactables layers. What we want to do is we want to create a new layer that we're going to call battle zone. And this would be the layer that we're going to use for the battle zone. So let me click back on the battle zone. For the layer, we're going to choose the battle zone. And for the sorting layer, we could do the foreground. Now let's go to our tile palette and let's create like a visual to what the battle zone is going to look like. Okay, and then for this part, we want to paint the area that is going to trigger the battles. And one thing that I really wish you guys are doing is you're creating your own game. So you're following the series, but you're taking a step and you're creating the environment, you're making it pretty, and you're creating, like more than just this. So I'm going to do a very simple in here, but obviously you can customize this the way you want, right? You can go to pixel art and get something different for this. You can change the color of the the tiles to make it the player know that this is going to be a battle. For Pokemon, they use the long grass, right, when you're walking around. For me, I'm just going to take one of these and I'm just going to paint it. Let's get like, let me find a good one. Maybe this is good. Yeah, this is good. So I'm just going to paint here. But I wanted to be sure this could be anything, right? Like you could make a long grass, you could make it just slightly darker, you could make it just invisible if you want, right? So I'm going to teach you how to do those things so that way you know. But by no means you do this exactly as I'm doing, right? You're trying to after every video think and like learn and like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this in my own way, right? So we painted it out. It's called the battle zone. We're good. We have a tile map renderer in here, looking good. Foreground. So now let's add a couple of components. So we have the tile map collider that we need to add, and this is a very important one. And then let's add a composite collider 2D as well. So what do these do? This basically are going to be able to, this will make us be able to recognize when these are stepped on, and also it's going to draw them out and it's going to make them, you know, real and physical into our world, right? So the first thing you know is the body type here. If I put dynamic, you guys know what will happen. Woo! It just falls. So the first thing I'm going to put is static on it. Second thing here I can do is we can do the, where is it? Use by composite collider. This is so we can use this part. So it's basically connecting the tile map collider to here, and you can see. And then the second thing is the geometry type. Let's put polygons. When you put polygons, it basically allows you to, this is the way I understand, and I could be wrong, so people in the comments, please let me know. But like, it kind of outlines the area of each cell, so it really recognizes when the geometry of it. So whenever I'm going to be walking around it, it's going to recognize by each individual title what's going on in here. So that's the way I understand it, and I could be completely wrong. I did some research on it. If I am, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. So now that, let's see, this is looking good. Let's go ahead and let's kind of add this to our system. So let's go ahead and go to the player controller, and we're going to add some stuff. One very important thing, so I've been trying to read your guys' comments. You see how here I have basically the Unity like helper in here, where like it's telling me what's a layer mask, right? And it gives me the special details. I heard that some of you were having a hard time with this. So for some reason, sometimes Unity will forget this, but what you do is you go to, if you open up and you're not seeing those suggestions, you go to preferences, and then in preferences, you're going to go to external tools. And on external tools, the external script editor has to be selected for Microsoft Visual Studio. This is what connects it, so it makes it easy for you. It makes it, the suggestions show up. So if you're having that trouble with that, that's the way to do it. Great. So let's click again. Let's open this up. Player controller. There you go. Open up. So the first thing we need to do is we need to define that layer. So we're going to write public layer mask, and then we can call this the battle layer. I think battle layer will do. And let's remember, what does this do? It makes it a public reference of a layer called the battle layer that we're going to have to assign. Then the next thing, as I explained in, where is it? Where's my Chrome? Oh, I closed it. Sorry. So as I explained in the whimsical, we're trying to go and check. Every time he's walking, we want to check if he is touching that area. So what we'll do is whenever we're on the, let's see, wherever we're in the move. So every time he's moving, we want to have a function called check for encounters. And let's do this. It's red because we don't have this function yet. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and let's do this function. So let's create it. So right here, we can go in, private, void, and then we can do check for encounters. Oh, not like that. Gonna do like this. So now we have the check for encounters function. So what is this function? What do we want this function to do, right? We want the function to basically go and check, hey, are you stepping into a battle layer? If you are, then give us a 50% chance that a battle will start, right? So let me repeat again because this is very important. So what are we doing here? Every time I'm moving, I'm going to put in the end of this function, hey, check if there is an encounter here, if there's a battle going on. I created this function. So from here, it's going to go to here, and then it's going to read this. And what we want to say, hey, first, check, are you stepping into a battle tile? If the answer is yes, then a battle needs to start, right? So how do we do the checking? Well, it's very simple. Here, we have the isWalkable function. Haha. And what does the isWalkable function do? It checks if we're overlapping a solid object, and if it is, we're not walking there. But for us, we can kind of use the same thing here. So if physics2d dot overlap circle, and then there is, but instead of a target position, right? We want to know the exact position. So we can do this by using our, if you remember, the transform.position. And let me refer that back so you do not forget. Remember that everything has a transform position. So basically saying, hey, whenever the player's position, this is what we're passing right now. So whenever the player's position, and if I do this, like I can see here, the method, right? We're asking for a point, a radius. So whenever the player's position, and we can put like a really small number. So whenever the position is touched, whenever we're touching, and then you have to say, okay, which layer are you touching? Let's put the battle layer. So whenever this is different than null, meaning whenever this is not empty, so whenever this is overlapping, so the answer is yes, so we put this is different than null, then we want to do something. So we can put like the debug .log, and we can do a battle has started. All right, so let's save this. Let's go to our Unity. For the player, it's gonna ask for, hey, what's the interactables layer? Battle zone. Oh, why? It's because remember when I was editing it, I kind of switched things around. So I got a little bit confused here. So let's fix that, and that is very important. And I'm sorry, some people might mess this up. I apologize. But let's change the interactables layer to interactables and not the battle zone. And then the battle layer is gonna be the battle zone. All right, so that is quote unquote connected right now. And let's see, am I forgetting anything? I don't think I am. So let's just save and let's just hit play. All right, let's walk around. Oh, look at that. A battle has started. Then I walk again, a battle has started. I walk again, a battle has started. So whenever he's stepping here, a battle has started. Right now, nothing. Or am I showing? Nope, just the 4 messages. Sounds good. Good. Now the next one, getting the message. A battle has started. I need to adjust the position of the player so it becomes a little bit better when he touches it. But I think we're getting there. So let's just change this. And what we're missing is one little if statement, because we don't want the battle to run every time. So what we do is we do a if random. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I really appreciate the comment is like I am destroying my keyboard. My microphone is still not very good, and my keyboard is very loud. The problem is I love this keyboard. It's just good. I like games, obviously, so I play a lot of games in the computer. But I'm sorry, like I know the sound of my keyboard is very loud. So okay, sorry. Going back to this. So if the random dot range, so what we want to do is like, okay, let's make the system create a range between choose a random number between 1 and 100, right? And let's see if that's less or equal than 50% or 50. And then let's put this into this as an if statement, and then we're gonna put the battle. And okay, let me explain. The random dot range between 1 and 5, if you even hover this, it says easily generate random data for games. And then the random dot range is return a random int, and we've learned that int is a number within 1 and 100. So see, like it's kind of nice when you can just hover over and click. So what we're doing and what we're saying is, hey, return a number between 1 and 100. So let's say it's 40. If 40 is less or equal to 50, trigger this. If it's 70, don't trigger this. So let's see if this is going to make our battle player at least 50%. All right, let's try. So going back here, hit play. I walked in, battle. I walked in, battle. I walked in, nothing. I walked in, nothing. I walked in, nothing. I walked in, nothing. I walked in, battle. So it looks like we're doing good. You can tweak these and make it as much as more or less than you want, and you should be good. That's cool. Now, one last thing for those that are, because I know there's a lot of different variations of RPGs. There's one thing that says like people are not gonna like different. Some people want just random encounters anytime. So the way you can do it, and I mean, some people don't want this to be showing. So the way you can do it is you can go here to the tile map. You can click on it. You can just change this to 0. So it will make it invisible. You just gotta remember where it is then later, and then you can put it back maybe. But that way you can make this invisible so you surprise the player. And let's say like, oh, I'm walking around. Oh, a battle has started. So that makes it easy for you to do that in case you don't want a visual thing right on the tiles. Cool. Little video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was good for you. I hope you learned it. I am very appreciative of everything. I'm going to try to keep this every week or every 2 weeks, and I'm slowly picking back this tutorial series. Thank you again for everything. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.